Hey guys, I've been talking about Bless Online's rebuild project for a while, and since 4 days ago I've been playing the rebuild test server. The developer Naoyi has confirmed that the updates for the rebuild project will be coming in waves, so a lot of the new changes have yet to come. For starters, the Ranger and Mystic aren't in yet, and most of the content over level 37 isn't available for now. They've only made major combat changes to 2 of the classes so far, Berserker and Assassin, and we'll be updating the other melee classes first, so next will be the Guardian and the Paladin. Today I'll give you my impressions of the changes that were made to the game to answer big questions like, has the optimization been greatly improved, are the combat changes really an improvement, and what have these changes actually done for the game in terms of making it more enjoyable and fun. Hopping onto the beginning, the character creation got some new improvements, not everything that I've shown you guys in my major update videos, so no new user interface and no color wheel for hair and skin, but we did get way more freedom to adjust our character's physique, and a lot of the hairstyles and skin tones that were previously only available to certain races are now available to others, offering much more customizability and uniqueness. So we got to see Amistad players walking around with green skin and green hair, not something that would have been doable before. Really nice improvements. More customizability is always welcome on my part, so long as it doesn't look extremely grotesque. It's still not on par with BDO and likely won't be even with the rest of the character creation updates, but it's making its way to something that feels more like a proper 2017 character creator. Moving on to the actual gameplay though, a pretty popular topic I want to talk about is optimization. It was pretty bad. The Korean live servers are definitely much more optimized, the test servers had a lot of chopping, and it almost felt like there was some kind of memory leak, cause the more I played the more my frame rates dropped. I really don't know why, but I was really hoping to see some kind of improvement with the optimization first, cause that was one of the main things that Naoyi said they'd be working on early on. Luckily though, I tested the old FPS fix from the Russian version, and played around with the config files, and that made the game run a whole lot better. The overall progression of the game remains the same, we follow the main storyline. I have to admit the auto-pass system was actually pretty handy, at least for now that I'm going through the early levels and there's no PvP yet. I was hoping that there would be more options to make the early progression deviate from the storyline, but nothing new has been added for that as far as I can tell. What they did add that's easily recognizable is more difficulty with questing, so that going through the game requires you to pay more attention. A really good move on their part, especially because they added auto-pathing, because now you can auto-path all you want, but to actually progress past certain bosses and groups of monsters, you're gonna need to properly look into your build. We also got a new skill system for this now that is similar to games like Cryy. Questing was already somewhat challenging before, but definitely much more so now. To top it off, fewer items are given by the questline now, essentially pushing people to actually take the time to look into crafting and look into how to beat the next fight. In the previous versions, it was perfectly okay to keep progressing only with the quest gear, so all of that are definitely really good moves for making the players feel like there's challenge. One thing to note though is that dungeons were, for reasons unknown to me, made very easy and even soloable. Definitely not a welcome change for me. The game comes with both tab target and action combat, with tab recommended for long range and healing, and action for melee combat. As far as I know, there wasn't anything changed with the tab target, we didn't even get the new target HP bars yet, and if there were changes, I wasn't able to catch them when I checked. So for the most part, I'll just be talking about action combat. Fundamentally, the action mode is still how it was before. You point at a target and you're able to lock onto it by hitting tab, so yeah, still no change to make it a true action combat. A little disappointing, but I did already expect that, and the fact that every class will be modified to have a much smoother combat experience does make up for it. As I said before, the first to get the combat changes are the Berserker and the Sin. The Berserker used to be a very sluggish class, but now the combat is fairly fast-paced. The Assassin got the same improvement, less downtime between attacks, and while it doesn't seem all that much, I feel like that's really what the melee classes needed, so that speed increase alone actually made fighting feel more controllable and fun. I'm really glad this is different now. If you're interested in how the Assassin was changed, you can see how that's been improved in Cryy's impression video, which I will link in the description. A lot of the changes that are actually there are definitely not even close to ready to be put to the live servers yet, so my best guess is that a Western release is still more than half a year away. Take for example the crucial new skill system, that needs a ton of rebalancing. At the moment, one of the most powerful fire spells in the game is available at level 13, which makes the mage's gameplay super easy, and also enable it to one-shot pretty much everything. The paladin doesn't get any proper heals early on to make up for the lack of offensive skills, just a couple of examples to tell you how much actually still needs to be done. As far as I know, taming scrolls are extremely hard to get in the test server, which I know definitely will be changed, so I couldn't play around with the new mini-game taming at all yet, but we did recently get new screenshots of legendary pets. This one is the legendary transformed version of the succubus, that you guys might remember from my previous video. Here's what it looks like in its normal form. When I get to play around with those, I'll definitely take the time to show you guys. In the meantime, since the updates for the rebuild project will be days and even weeks apart, I think I'm gonna go ahead and check out a few other games I've been meaning to make reviews of, like Crowfall, and more news videos on Ashes of Creation, cause I think we're gonna be hearing a lot more on that in the coming weeks. I'm really looking forward to seeing the gameplay they'll have for Ashes and PAX Prime. That's it for today. If you'd like to support me and my content, you can now do so on my Patreon, which I will have linked in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.